Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today we are going to focus on the May Paper Pumpkin Kit. And this kit is called The Best There Is. And so it has three different card ideas, three different card designs, and you can make three of each of the three different designs. So today I'm going to show you some alternatives that you can make with this kit if you just want to change up the kit a little bit. But I'll show you what the actual designs were for the kit. So good morning. Good morning. So these are the alternatives that we're going to put together. I have 8 different designs that I'm going to share with you. I'll try to put together 4 of them for you this morning. And it really is a beautiful kit. I was just quite excited about it. So here are the designs that came in the kit. And so, like I said, there were 3 different designs. So these are the 3 designs. Now, I did change this one up a little bit. This one had a Father's Day greeting. So I changed it to a thank you, but otherwise it's the same design. And then I just basically took these supplies and then I cut them apart, the rest of the supplies. I cut them apart and then I created the 8 other designs. And I still have some leftover um, pieces from the kit so I can create even more cards. But basically what I want to show you on these cards is that the card bases that come in the kit are double-sided. So you have the same design, this blue design here on both the front and the back. So it makes it very easy to just cut these apart and then just kind of use them as designer paper. So that's what I did. I cut all these apart and I use them as designer paper to create my alternate designs. So here's the other one. So those are the 3 different cards, the card bases. So I'm going to take you through a couple of different projects. So let's start with these. And in the kit, they had a little Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. I actually didn't use it at all, of course. I used early espresso to do all my stamping because in this particular kit, there is a stamp set that has this beautiful tree image. So all the alternates, I think the majority of the alternates that I created used this particular image. And these circle shapes came in the kit. There were 3 of them. And so I actually used the Stylish Shapes dies to create additional circle shapes so that I could create some alternate designs for you. But this is the stamp set that came in the kit. So there were a couple different greetings and then this tree image. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And then I'm also using the Thanks and Beyond dies. In particular, I'm using this die. And so I'm going to show you some fun things to do with this die. And then I use the Thanks die for for the cards that I'm sharing today. I didn't use the butterfly. But that Thanks and Beyond die set, that actually coordinated with April, let's see, was it March, April, May? I think it was 3 kits. So, all right, so let's talk about this card first. So basically when I create alternate designs, I just add my own um, card stock and things and just use some of the pieces that are in the kit. So I have just a piece of white cardstock here, which is cut at 4 by 5¼ inches. And I just embossed it with the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. I'm adding it to my own crumb cake card base. So let's just add this right away. If I can get my glue to work, it's a brand new one. So we'll just put this in the center. And then I just cut up the card bases from the kit. So let me grab these little pieces here. So the first piece I cut at 1¾ inches by 4½ inches. So this was one of the card bases in the kit. And I'm just going to add this to the left side of the card. So I just layered together these card bases just like I would designer paper. And then I cut apart one of the other card bases. Actually, one of the other, this wasn't a card base. I'll show you in a second. But this is a 2.5 by 3 3/4 inch piece. So I actually cut apart this large piece that came in the kit, this background piece. I just cut it right in half. So it ended up to be 2 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to add that to this card base. And this is very similar to the Country Woods paper. Actually, I think most of it is the Country Woods paper. Very close. All right, so that's basically the layout. And then I just added those trees that came in the kit. So these were already pre-stamped and ready to go. So just pop them up if you want to create your own trees. The image that's in the set is the exact same one. So you can just go ahead and do that. And then I took a couple of the different greetings that were in the set and I just created my own greeting. So this one, I stamped, hold on here. I stamped this on a scrap piece of actually the envelope. So I cut apart my envelopes to use, especially to use as the focal point, because this wood grain works perfect to create that focal point. So I just stamped a couple of these words on a piece of, just a scrap piece of that paper. And then I just cut them out with the scissors and just added them here. So I'll show you the greeting. So I just used the your from this particular greeting and then the amazing I used from this greeting. So you can kind of mix and match the words to create your own greetings. So that's exactly what I did. And then I just added a little bit of linen thread to the front of the card just to kind of dress it up. So that really is the design. And then I used that image on the inside of the card just to decorate it. So really pretty, fun designs. And then the next one, I did more of a rustic style. So I'll show you this. This is what the card looks like. So I just used the pieces that were in the kit, the card bases, and I just cut them down. So this first piece is just a 2 by 5.5 inch piece. So this is just going to go right down the front of the card, kind of off to the side. And again, this is one of the card bases in the kit. So we'll add that. And then I just have a little embossed piece again. So I embossed some white cardstock. And this piece is 2 5/8 by 4. And I embossed it with that distress tile embossing folder. So we'll just add this off the other side. We're just creating some layers. And then I have another one of those die cut shapes from the kit. And then they had these little pieces. Let me grab the original here. So these little pieces, if you're going to create the cards as the kit shows, they kind of go behind this greeting on this card base. But I just decided to flip it over and use the white side instead of the colored side, just to create kind of this white. I like the look of white and early espresso, kind of that rustic look together. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue here. And then we'll add our trees. And then we'll just pop that up. So just kind of something different, kind of a fun way to use this particular element from the kit. And we'll put one in the middle. And then this will just kind of go off the side here. And then I did the same thing, same greeting, the "You're amazing." I just cut it down Put a couple dimensionals on the back. Well, if I can get that off. There we go. And then this just goes off to the side here. And then I just added a couple of my own embellishments. So these are some of the textured dots. These are new. So I'll just add a couple of those. And then of course you can add the linen thread or you can leave it off. It looks good with it off or it looks good with the linen thread on there. So just kind of something different if you want to change up the look of your card. And then on the inside, I just added some little trees again, just to kind of decorate the inside. So I love the rustic style. I love the country woods suite. So this particular kit was a really fun kit for me. All right, let's put this to the side. I'm getting these all mixed up, I think. All right, so this next one I want to show you, I actually created 2 cards just by doing one simple little thing here. So let me grab these pieces. So I decided to use the die from the Thanks and Beyond die set. So let me grab the die. So this is the die that I used. And basically what I did first is I just cut a piece of the of that wood grain or wood pattern. What do you call that? Shiplap or whatever it is. This piece, let's see, how big did I cut this? I think it's 2.5 by 4. It 2.5 by 3 3/4. That's what it is. So that was the piece that we used. If you're creating the kit cards as they are, that's this big piece that I cut from. So 2.5 by 3 3/4. So I cut that. And then I took this die and I cut out the center of it. And so I used that piece for this card. And then I just used the negative space for this card. So let's put this one together first. So what I did here is I have a couple other pieces. So I have a piece of early espresso, which is 2 3/4 by 4. And that's what this is going to get adhered to. So we'll start with that. So I figured if I was going to cut up this piece of paper, I was going to make the most out of it and create 2 cards. So we'll add that. And then this little piece here is, I believe it's 1.5. It's 1.5 by 5.5. So we'll just put that across. This is Pool Party, if you're wondering what the color is. And I just have my, oh, I should put it the right way. Just have my crumb cake card base. So we'll just add this across. And then we'll just add this piece on there right away too. All right. And then we're going to create the little focal points. So I'm just going to set this aside for the moment. I use that same die, and this is actually one of the envelopes. So I used the die to cut this out of the envelope. And then I just used some early espresso ink and that tree image just to create my focal point. So we'll add that right in there. We'll wipe off the extra ink. So let's pop this up in the center. And then I just used the last remaining elements in the kit for the rest of the card. Well, I shouldn't say that. And I created a greeting. But there's these little pieces that came in the kit. So this was to create, this look on the card. That's what these pieces are for. I just saved this, turned it around, and glued it underneath here. So we're going to do that right away. So we'll just tuck that underneath. And then we will add our greeting. Maybe I lost it. Oh, here it is. And then I just cut a thanks using the dies, those thanks and beyond dies. So I cut this from a piece of pool party cardstock. And we'll just add this for our greeting. And you could also stamp your Father's Day greeting on here if you wanted a Father's Day greeting. But we'll just do a thanks. And then we just add little embellishments if you want. Let's turn that. So I'll grab some of these. We'll use some smaller ones this time. And we'll just put some little dots on here. So that was a great way to use up that negative space, and from cutting out this shape. So it was just a really fun little card there. I am going to grab the other one. So this other one, what I did for this is I used all these shapes. So the shape that I cut out of here, I have right here. So this is the shape that I cut out of there. And basically what I did is I just cut it in half from point to point. But that's the shape that I cut out of that piece. Let's switch these around here. And then I also have some additional shapes that I cut out. So we'll turn these so you can see them. So I cut a piece, one of these shapes from the envelope, and then I cut another one of these shapes from one of the card bases. And then basically these two I cut in half sideways. So this one I cut in half point to point. These two I cut in half sideways, because if you put them together, that's what they would look like. All right, and so you just need 3 shapes with that die. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to adhere these to a card base. So I just have early espresso cardstock, and I'm just going to burnish this a little bit here. And I just created my own little pattern. So I took these little pieces and laid them out on the card. And I have my little focal point, so I'm just going to use this for right now. And these side pieces go next to it. So it's kind of like creating a little puzzle. You just cut all your pieces in half to create just a fun little design. So this is basically what I did. And now the tricky part is adhering them all together. So I like to, like I've always told you, I like to just kind of lay these pieces out. And we'll just start at the top here. And I'm just going to hold these in place just to kind of get an idea. And then we'll lay this one on there. So you're just going to be gluing them all in place to create just a kind of a fun background design. see. Might scoot that over a little bit. There we go. And then we'll adhere this one off the side. So I put all the pieces in place first. And then I go back and I stamp my piece for the middle. So put all the outside pieces in first. And it's not perfect, but and that one. And then we'll add our bottom pieces. Oop. Hang on to that. Move that in a little bit. And here's the last one. Okay. So that gives you an idea of how to create this basic design. And then we'll give this a second to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. So I just added the tree image again. And this time I'm doing it instead of doing it the landscape style, I just have it pointing the vertical or the portrait style. And we'll just add our trees. This is early espresso. I used it for all the cards. And then we'll pop this up. So this is, a couple of people are asking, this is the Thanks and Beyond dies. So this particular die, it's a die, not a punch. So it is a die set that coordinates with the paper pumpkin kits. So that is the die that I'm using to create this design. All right, so we will bring this back and pop this up. Now you can put the tree in the middle like I did, or I'll show you another alternative if you don't want to put the tree in the middle. So we'll just pop this up right in the center. And then I just added a piece. I didn't like the fact that this was open on the bottom here. So I just added a piece of Pool Party cardstock. This is just a 1/2 inch wide. And I'm just going to trim this down a little bit because I cut it at about 4 inches, but I'm going to have to trim it down so that it kind of matches up with my design there. So we'll just add this. And you can add this little piece on the top or on the bottom, whatever you prefer. I just kind of wanted to finish this off a little bit. Whoop. There we go. All right, and then we'll just add our little gems to the bottom. Just add a couple of these across the bottom. So this was a really fun design. You can do this with any designer paper. Whoops. I used the paper that was in the kit. Well, I lost my glue dot here. So I used the paper that was in the kit, but it'll work with any paper. All right, so that's the basic design. And then you could actually, if you wanted to, you could just use the greeting from the kit. So this is what it would look like if you decided to use the greeting instead of stamping a tree. So either way, it's just a really kind of fun design to play with. Just something a little different. All right, so I have a couple more ideas that I want to share with you. I know I see you guys like this one. Here, this I did, I used the envelope to decorate the inside of the card. Just a FYI for you. So I didn't put a greeting on this one because I just thought it looked beautiful just like this. And sometimes you just don't need a greeting with every single card that you make. All right, so here's a couple other alternatives. So let me put these alternatives out for you so you can see what they are. These are the ones I just showed you how to make. So here are 4 of them. So those are the first 4. And then I just went really rustic with the last 4. So this was a particular piece in the kit that I basically just cut into 2 1-inch strips, and then the middle ended up being 1.5. So just to kind of create like a window look. So this is what the kit card looks like, this one. And I just took that piece and cut it apart. That's all I did with this. So that's one alternative. And then here is another one. So I just used this particular piece, this particular card base. I just cut it down so that it was, well, I actually cut it down. Let's see, I'll have to tell you because I don't know offhand. Cut it down to about 3, it's about 3.5. It's about 3.5 wide. There's a little bit of it tucked under this embossing. But I have a 3/4 inch wide piece of embossed white cardstock. And then again, I just used the white side of these little embellishments. So that's how I created that one. And then this one, I just stamped straight across an envelope piece. So the envelope piece, I made this about 3 inches by 5.5, cut a piece of the envelope and just stamped the trees and then used the greeting on there. And then this one actually is just this card only turned, instead of like this, it's turned this way. So it's the exact same kind of design. I just um, turned it a different direction just to give it a different look. So, all right, you guys. So that was a lot of cards. So I hope you enjoyed these card ideas. I always have a lot of fun just putting together alternative designs with the kit. It's always fun to just kind of think outside the box, so to speak, and create some designs of your own. You can also create the cards as intended. You do not have to change any of the designs. You can just create all 9 cards as they are intended, but I like to just kind of stretch my creativity a little bit. So I will get these cards out on the blog for you guys later today, and I'll put all the measurements out there for you as well. So if you want to recreate them, you can. Of course, you can always come back to this video too. Um, and then I did link to Paper Pumpkin in the description with this video. So if you want to learn more about Paper Pumpkin, you can go to my website where I just describe all the different things about Paper Pumpkin. You can subscribe month to month. You can get a prepaid subscription. There's a couple different options for you. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, and I do have one kit left. So I typically get one extra kit. So if you missed out on this month's kit, just reach out to me through my website or at stamptasticdesigns@gmail.com and let me know. And it's kind of first come, first serve. So whoever gets to me first gets the kit. So, um, all right. So that's what I have for you this Sunday. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a great week. And I will see you guys all again next week. So take care, everybody.